Hello and welcome to Gribbly's Day Out on the C64, and you can see this was by Andrew Braybrook, and I think it was his first C64 game, and I think it was the first C64 Hewson game. And this features Gribbly Grobbly, the no-armed, one-footed but strangely cute beastie from Blabgore. So let's get started. So this came out, what, 85? So it's a pretty early-ish C64 game, so graphically don't expect too much. But it's fairly, I mean, it's fairly simple. The backgrounds are fairly simple. Your main sprite, what's his name, Gribbly. Yeah, he's pretty well animated actually. He's got lots of little facial expressions, and I think it looks great. What you've got to do is collect, see that little thing flipping around there, that's called a Gribblet. You've got to collect as many as you can on the level, and all you do is take them back to this cave and drop them. Now there's 8 at the start of the level, but they can get killed, so I think you've got to rescue at least 5, I think, maybe. And depending on how many more than that you rescue, that affects I think it's called your confidence level, and that dictates how many levels you progress to. So if you collect all 8, then you skip 3 levels. I think there's 16 levels in total. I'm not sure if you have to play all the levels or just get or loop the game. There's probably not even an end to the game, to be honest. But I can't say for sure. But I've never come close to completing more than a couple of levels at a time, so I don't know. Right, you see that white thing flapping around there? That's picked up a Gribblet. What you've got to do is shoot it to drop it. Make sure it doesn't. There we go. Make sure it doesn't land on a tree or anything like that. Come back here. If it lands on a rough bit of scenery like a tree, then it will die. The game, I mean, it looks fairly simple, but there's a bit more to it than meets the eye, which is quite. You can say that about a lot of Braybrook games. There's this web here. What you can do is you can press fire over the little switches to turn it on and off. The web doesn't play too big a role in the first level. You don't really have to mess with it too much. That's a flipper, and you see it's just mutated into that whole sort of shell. What it'll do is it will mutate again and become the thing that's flying around. So there's actually a sort of complex cycle of life in the game, which isn't immediately obvious. Right, one thing that isn't obvious, because I haven't talked about it yet, if you haven't played it, is there's 2 methods of control. There's bounce modes or walk modes. You just walk, and you can bounce through scenery and the web. You can't bounce in these mud pits though, or water. Yeah, that you can shoot that. I think. Oh, maybe you can't. So what you do is you press fire to pick up the Gribblets and take them back. And what you can do is you can push up, and that puts you into sort of hover mode. And when you're in hover mode, you can't collide with any bits of scenery or the web. Otherwise your psi energy will drop pretty quickly. You see there's a few bars at the bottom of the status panel showing the psi energy. When your psi energy goes to 0, you lose a life, so you've got to be very, very careful when you're in hover mode. So I've dropped that Gribblet there. So I've got to be careful. There's one more person to show you in this level, and that's a chap by the name of Sion, who looks like this sort of little crab, and he makes that little clacking sound when he's on screen or nearby. He's fairly harmless unless you shoot him, or when there's only one Gribblet left in the level, the psi web collapses, and then Sion wakes up, and he will come after you, and your energy goes down really fast if you make any contact with him. So you've got to be very, very careful. It's best to leave him alone as long as you can. Right, let's see if I can, oops, let's see if I can drop that Gribblet. So you can see there's probably a bit more to the game than meets the eye at first. Let's try and deactivate this web. Yeah, he's going to be tricky to get hold of. I thought you could destroy them, but probably not. Right, there we go. So that's 5. Oops, I collided with the web there. The controls are really, he's got quite a lot of inertia, so they're pretty tricky when you're in hover mode. Just got to be really careful. I think Sion's moved. There he is. He's getting his, oh! I think you can shoot at him, and that will. If you shoot him enough times, he sort of gets a bit fed up, and he'll fly off and leave you alone for a while. But yeah, he is quite tricky. You best avoid him though. Yeah, graphically, well, you can pick up these little. I don't know what they are. You can pick them up to top up your energy. Yeah, graphically it's pretty simple, but and it doesn't vary much between the levels, apart from the colour scheme. But I think it looks alien enough to stay interesting. Let's see on. Oh. Yeah, and sound-wise, there's no in-game music. There's just a little tunelet on the title screen, which is all right. Gives it a bit of atmosphere. It's nothing brilliant. And in-game sound effects, there's not many, but what sound effects are there are pretty good actually. They do help the game. You can hear what they do give a good sort of cue to what's happening, just off screen as well as on screen. You can sort of hear Sion before he appears. You can sort of hear him clacking away. There he is. So I can hear him clacking away there. There's another Gribblet. Yeah, that little, oh yeah, you see that little seed drop to the ground and then became that sort of walker thing which will flip over any Gribblets. So that's an indication of the sort of evolution of the life cycle. So yeah, I mean, the problem with a lot of Brave Brutes games was that he sort of made them hard. So he gave game reviewers oh, you heard that there was a sort of deep sound there. That means the web has collapsed. There's only one Gribblet left. Yeah, you can see Sion's active now. I think you can, yeah, shoot him enough time, he sort of becomes a bit stunned. So I've got to find the last Gribblet. Yeah, Brave Brute tended to make his games quite hard, just to make game reviewers give him a bit of a challenge, but it also meant his games are quite hard for a lot of people. They're just too hard. There's the last Gribblet. Which, oh you bugger. Yeah, his games are just too hard for a lot of average games players, and this is definitely a good example of that. I mean, you can definitely make progress in the game. It just requires a bit of perseverance, just to sort of master the controls. Right, where is this guy? Right, there we go. I think I've managed to escape. Yeah, once you master the controls, you can enjoy the game quite a bit actually. And it's a fairly unique game, there's not a lot like it. I think I've managed to rescue all 8. There we go. 8 Gribblets saved. Onto the infinite waterfalls. So here we go, you can see the graphics, just change the colour scheme really. Not quite sure the cave is in this level. Well, maybe the cave there. I think that's the cave. That's fine. Yeah, so I like Gribbly's all his little expressions. I think he's quite a good character, quite well created, well drawn and realised. And I think the gameplay, it's pretty unlike anything really. It's not a platform game as such, and it's not a shoot 'em up as such. It's kind of its own thing, and you've got to admire it for that, I think. And it's really frustrating when you first start playing it because you're bouncing around all over the place, and you're in hover mode and you're just flying into everything. You've got to take your time, and it's about precision more than anything. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good game, so I'll give it 8 out of 10. So it does require a bit of perseverance, but it's well worth it, I think. So yep, 8 out of 10 for Gribbly's Day Out. And I've got to say, the game had a budget re-release, and for that, what Braybrook did was he made a few changes. Mostly, he changed the game font because when it came out, some people had bad video outputs on a C64 or bad TVs, and they found it a bit hard to read. So he made the font a little easier to read. He didn't change the graphics too much, but he did fix a couple of the bugs. Just tidied up some of the codes. Yep, so that was called Gribbly's Special Day Out, but otherwise it's pretty similar to this. Gameplay's pretty similar. Apparently he did tweak the controls, or so I've read. He's tweaked the controls, but it feels fairly similar to me. Didn't tweak them that much if he did. But yeah, so 8 out of 10 for Gribbly's Day Out. See you in the next video.